Well, hello once again. This is the Midnight Skeptic coming at you with another rant for the week. Educational, little bit funny in some cases, I hope, but this broadcast on the radio is going to go out on Sunday night, this coming Sunday night, April 13th, at the usual time, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, on kpca.fm worldwide. Ooh. And locally, meaning most of Sonoma County, at 103.3 FM. And then, as always, this will be downloaded on YouTube as soon as I can get to it after I've finished my rant. And you all out there can watch and listen to the rant from the Midnight Skeptic. And I'm recording this again about earlier than I usually do this. This is Tuesday, April 1st, and it's about 12:15 in the morning, well, in the afternoon. No fooling. I've got a phone call coming in. Wait a second.
Call from V707332167.
They'll leave a message. Okay. On this latest rant, I will talk about the HMC Republican Party. What does HMC stand for? Hateful, mean, and cruel. And I have been informed by a few people that are...
Hey, Dave, it's Tom. Listen, the weather looks a little inclement, so let's just plan on me coming to pick you up. And then, unless the sun shines, but...
Okay. It's been suggested to me that Republicans, GOP, conservatives, are not hateful, mean, and cruel. I would counter with most of them are now because of the influence of their God King, the Mango Mussolini. Okay? Not all. There are a few that are intelligent and somewhat compassionate. I admit that. Okay. Let's see. On this latest rant, I will talk about the HMC Republican Party and their long game. It started way back before the Reagan years even, in the post-Reconstruction years, when the GOP truly became the party of the upper class, the industrial class, the business class, the country club class, the golf and yacht club class. And I will go into that a little bit later in the show. Their long game. Now they're kind of the billionaire class, and they're toadies that worship them. As an example, Jeff Bezos of Amazon fame, he exemplifies the billionaire class. And then there's always Elon Musk, the richest guy in the world. Okay. The billionaire class are trying to reify the situation in this country. And reify means make it permanent. Okay. Well, let's not let that happen. Okay, after that initial rant, here comes my play in music. listening to KPCA LP, Petaluma, California, at 103.3 FM and worldwide at www.kpca.fm. And this is the Midnight Skeptic. The views of the Midnight Skeptic are not, repeat, not necessarily the views of KPCA or any of its affiliates. Okay, I have been using my HMC GOP voice, again, hateful, mean, and cruel, more and more lately on my rants, along with sound effects. I'm trying to use them a little bit more because my audio engineer set them all up for me, and I just don't use them all that much. I am going to try to use them more. Okay. Thank you, Dennis, for setting the sound effects up for me. And then also, I'm using my whiny voice a bit more on my rants because I use that voice for the Jesus screamers and Bible thumpers that usually send in these stupid questions to Quora. And that's a new segment on my show. I call them Quora Quasi Questions. My relatively new segment on my rants every week on Sunday. And I will try to get through my shout-outs more quickly, as was suggested to me, as I only have 58 minutes that KPCA.FM allots me at my talk show hour slot. It's 58 minutes, really. And lately, I've been having some trouble finishing in 58 minutes. There's so much going on in this country and the world. So, here they are, the shout-outs. Okay, Sadie and Maggie, Tony and Christine. Get well soon, Tony. I enjoy your two wines, which Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. Look forward to another tasting of them. And Nariman, we'll have to sip some wine together soon at Sahar Garai's place. She's the owner of La Dulce Vita Wine Lounge. Notice it's not a wine bar, it's a wine lounge. Nice place to hang out and sip wine. If only there was a cat over there that I could pick up and put in my lap and pet. It would be much, much better. Okay. I'm already off my notes. I skipped a line. Okay, it's downtown in Petaluma Square. Okay, Dr. David Rubin, an artistic retirement. He lives over in Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina, and pursuing, in retirement, an art career. Go to his website, davidrubinpaintings.com, and check out his rather bizarre take on reality. Rabbi Ted Feldman, who's retired, but was the rabbi at B'nai Israel here in Petaluma. And I and my late wife went down quite often to one of his night classes to learn about Israel, the founding of it, the history of the Middle East, and Zionism, which I'm not sure that I'm a big fan of Zionism and the Zionist movement. Okay. Art Kuznets, who I met through B'nai Israel. Tim Conrad, a retired Child Protection Services guy. We need more people like him. Okay, go to his newsletter, Tim Conrad, for his reminiscences and thoughts on the world today. Ralph Scott of Squeaky Cheese Audio Book Productions. John Crowley at the Aquas Cafe Community and Hangout. The Written Word Writers Group gathering is coming up soon at the Petaluma Arts Center on the 9th of this month at 5:30. Okay, and I plan to go there because I am sort of a budding novelist. I won't go into what that's all about, but Amelia Beamer, who is now in Florida, used to live here in Petaluma. She's a editor, freelance editor, novelist herself, and a mentor to budding novelists. And I hope to meet another one at this written word gathering. Okay. Now, did I mention Tom Gaffey at the Phoenix Theater, the godfather to the alternative teen set? Okay, let's go with this. People who have indicated to me that occasionally they do listen into this show all over the United States. I don't know of any of my foreign watchers and listeners, but YouTube lets me know that there are some out there. Okay. Project Censored. Go to their website, projectcensored.org, I think, and sign up for their newsletter. Lots of good information. And if you've a mind to purchase their annual book, The State of the Free Press, whatever year it is, 2025 is came back from the printers about 2 months ago. Okay. And to help Mickey Huff at Project Censored, Shaylee Voitel, and she and Mickey Huff are now back at Ithaca College, which is in upstate New York. And Nolan Higdon and Andy Lee Roth, both history professors at UC Santa Cruz. Okay. When do we get to the meat of the show? Okay. You know what I did this time? I thought my notes were so organized for this show, but I hit all the things that I need to hit on my shout-outs, except for just local people and the ones that are across the nation that occasionally listen in. Okay. Dave and Rosita, Kevin and Lori, and I mentioned Tim Conrad, Tom and Nancy. I just got a call from Tom. Okay, so that was who that phone ringing was all about. Okay, Dennis and Megan, Yvonne and Rick, Stan and Kathy. Stan's a retired city attorney of Daly City. And then all the way down to the Valley in L.A., Jackie, Samantha, and Melanie. Those Samantha and Melanie are her daughters. Over to Arizona, my brother, who I love dearly, Brandon and his wife Mina, their daughter Andrea and her husband Tim, and their 3 little ones who are quite athletic. They're, I think, 9, 7, and 5, I think. Okay. I'm going to visit him this summer. Okay, up to Arkansas, Shannon Reed. And over to Florida, Nelson and Alice. And then I mentioned Amelia over on the east coast of Florida. And then Dr. Dave Rubin, Raleigh-Durham, up to Long Island. My wife's best friend, Geraldine Goldfinger. And then way back over here to the west coast, up Highway 108 to Sonora, my old hometown. Robert Finnegan, Bob and Sandy Fisher, their two progeny, Brad and Martha, Darl Larson, who does listen in now and then and was our high school bronc rider on the local rodeo circuit. Judy May, Kathy Francis, and Lynn Quayle splits her time between Manhattan and Sonora. And then all the way up, 108 to Twain Hart, John Gleason and his two daughters, Tiffany and Jennifer. Tiffany is a African Studies professor. She's not at a college right now. She's recovering from some health issues in Colorado. Get well, Tiffany. And she did a lot of her grad work over in the country of Benin in West Africa. And she speaks Yoruba, Yoruba, a language of West Africa. Okay, and then all the way down to Mexico City, we have Rosamalia Lopez Negrete. And I'm going to have to send her a message on Facebook, I think, to clarify what she thinks of Mexico's newly elected president, Claudia Sheinbaum. I like Claudia because she stands up to the comb-over Caligula that we have as our president now. Okay, I think I got all of that, my two opening rants, and the shout-outs in about 15 minutes. Okay, I'm good to go for the meat of the show. Hey, that rhymes. I'm good to go for the meat of the show. Okay, I'm always going to open with good news, and I'm going to do it here. Good news, smoking, which I have never done, in the U.S. is down to about 11%. All right. Take that, big tobacco. Okay. And then a crazy Quora question. Okay, now I'm going to use my whiny voice because this question obviously came from a fundamentalist Christian. Okay, here we go. What are the different versions of Noah's Ark, and how do we determine which one is true? Okay, and the guy or woman, whoever it was that answered this, did a straightforward answer. I'm going to condense it. The answer person said, there are two versions in the Bible. Genesis 6:8-22, and that is called by biblical scholars, which happens to be an oxymoron. They call it the priestly source. And then number 2, Genesis 6:9-22. Boy, those seem to be right next to each other. I'm not familiar with the Bible enough to know this. And then also Genesis 7:10, which is, scholars call, the Yahwist version. Capital Yahwist is how this answer person spelled it. I have no idea what that means, and I probably don't want to know. Okay, bad senator from Oklahoma, Marquin Mullen. He was elected in 2023. He has no BA degree. He benefited from $1.4 million, typical Republican, from the federal PPP loan forgiveness program. But, of course, he voted against the student loan forgiveness plan. Hypocrites, hypocrites, hypocrites. Okay. All right. Transgender woman Erin Reed and the state of Montana Representative Zooey Zephyr, capital Zephyr, are up in Montana in the legislature. Reed, who is a journalist, covers anti-trans legislation in his capacity as a journalist. They are now fiancés. Good news. There's a video clip of their saying yes to marriage to each other. I urge all of my listeners out there to go online to the Montana legislature and see the speech. And the one that I saw was a year and a half or so ago that Zooey Zephyr gave to the other legislators on the floor. And she was censured because Republicans claimed that she was shaming them. Well, they should be shamed. Okay, and there's another legislator in the Montana State Senate, I think, who is non-binary. And he got up and gave a very moving speech, and I'm sorry I don't have the site to actually go to, but it was a very moving speech, and Zooey Zephyr's speech and his speech were instrumental in these two hateful, mean, and cruel bills being voted down because, to their credit, a couple of GOP representatives or senators voted against them. One of them would have banned gender-affirming health care. Now, health care can mean almost anything. Whoever the advisors, the wordsmiths, the right-wing think tank dudes advise the Republicans to say, they always use the word mutilation. Well, transgender confirming care is not always mutilation. It's not. Okay? It can range all the way from a deep conversation with your parents, your school counselor, a favorite teacher, a child psychologist, or further on, a child psychiatrist and puberty blockers. All of that is okay. They are not mutilation. But Republicans follow the lead of what they're being told to say by their right-wing handlers. Okay, I'm on a freelance rant right now. Okay. The two bills that I'm talking about, and you can look these up, were House Bill 675, that was the anti-trans care bill, and HB 754, which is, get this, would have removed transgender children from their parents. I stand by my statement that Republicans, especially the ones who favor those kind of bills, are hateful, mean, and cruel. HMC. Okay. Whew. I need a sip. Horrible Christian grifter news. Paula White, televangelist and grifter, has been appointed as the bronzed buffoon's faith advisor in the White House faith office. There's an office of faith right in the White House? Of course. Okay. She is now, for an Easter season gift of $1,000 or more, offering, and she cites Exodus 23, 7, quote, supernatural blessings, unquote. She says that then God will assign an angel to you and, quote, be an enemy to your enemies, unquote, and quote again, take sickness away from you and give you a long life. And bring increase and inheritance. I think that's a phrase lifted from the Bible somewhere. There's more, but you get the idea. Paula White. Ugh. Okay, bad news. Yet another GOP ex-state senator bites the child molestation dust. Ray Holmberg, who is 81, he's an ex-state senator from North Dakota, was arrested for traveling to Prague, Czechoslovakia Republic, for sex with young boys at least 14 times. He resigned from the North Dakota Senate in 2022 after 45 and a half years there, representing District 17, which is the Grand Forks area. He married Carrie Louise Hatchett, Hackett, in 1973. He was divorced in 1986. He has 2 kids and 5 grandkids. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Ray Holmberg. Well, he's going to spend the rest of his life in jail. Hypocritical Republicans. Bad and horrible news. The orange sociopathic bloat bag is going after the Smithsonian Institution. He's put Captain Eyeliner, his vice president, in charge of ridding it of, quote, divisive narratives. Executive Order Thursday, March 27th. In that executive order, he said he wants the Smithsonian Institution to remove improper ideology from all areas. Museums, education and research centers, and the National Zoo. Give me a break. Are pandas improper ideology? Oh my God. He tasked also the Interior Secretary to determine whether public monuments, memorials, statues, monuments have been changed since 2020, quote, to perpetuate a false reconstruction of American history, unquote. Are we living now in a fascist nation or what? I hesitated before this to call our country descending into fascism, but it's beginning to really seem to me like we are. This guy has got to be gotten rid of, along with his Republican toadies, somehow. Now, I've been accused by a couple of people of advocating assassination of him. I don't think I've ever said that. Just gotten rid of, yes, I'm all for that. But I am not for violence of any kind, such as was done on January 6th of 2020, when the orange sociopathic bloat bag sent his followers who believed in the stolen election that brought Joe Biden into the presidency. And he had the nerve, well, he does have the nerve, to say it was a day of love amidst all the violence and attacks on our nation's capital by the people that he let out of prison. Oh, I'm having a brain freeze on the right word. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay. Good news. There's a website that I'm recommending, the Aegis Alliance. Capital A, capital E, capital G, capital I, capital S Alliance. Aegis Alliance. It's a news aggregator, and what they do is expose government intelligence secrets. Well, that shouldn't be too hard now with the clowns that are in the cabinet of the orange sociopathic bloat bag, Signal Gate and all that. Okay. Bad news. Damn. Another one. Roger Daley Strong, who is 69 years old, of the Orland Church of the Nazarene, and he was pastor there for 40 years. He was arrested for child molestation, touching a 5 or 6 year old girl's vagina inappropriately. Well, is there an appropriate way to touch a little girl's vagina? Oh, okay. This was posted on January 1st of 1924, and it went on through May 8th of 24. All right, this is a couple of years ago. Doesn't matter. He's arrested now, and okay. I'm not really going to dwell on these arrests of Republicans and Christian pastors anymore. I, on my last show, said that you can go to a website and type in Christian pastors that have been arrested for child molestation. Well, I went there, and my gosh, there's a lot of them. I mean, more than you can shake a Bible at. So I'm not going to waste my time on the Midnight Skeptic show anymore talking about them. It just, just assume that pastors, especially in the Christian denomination or the Southern Baptist Convention, have probably done it. And especially if they're youth pastors. Beware of them. Okay. Geez, my notes are not as organized as I had hoped. Okay. Page 2 of this week's rant. Good news. Oh boy, you all have got to see this. It's a documentary short. It's called Love to the Max, M-A-X. It's produced by The New Yorker, which is a magazine. I don't subscribe to it, but it's cultural magazine mainly concerned with East Coast cultural issues. But it's a good magazine, very readable. They have good writers. I'm not going to subscribe to it, but this short documentary, Love to the Max, was nominated for the GLAAD Media Award in 2024, last year. And it was a film by Tanya Selvaratnam. Okay, I'll spell that for you. Tanya, capital Selvaratram. And Max is a transgender kid of this family in Texas, and they're discussing their options because Texas is such a hateful, mean, and cruel cesspool of Republicans that run the state, and passing laws against this and that. Texas, incidentally, is a dead pool for pregnant women with complications because of their anti-abortion laws. Even a miscarriage becomes suspicious to the hateful, mean, and cruel Republican people who run Texas. Okay, I'm off my notes. Good news. I think I already said this. Good news from Montana. 2 GOP bills in the Montana legislature failed as enough Republicans crossed over the aisle to vote down HB 765 and HB 754. I told you already what they were. The HB 754 would have taken transgender kids away from their parents. It failed, thank goodness. Okay. Damn. Okay. I'm way off my notes. Oh. Okay. Here's another short film that you can watch. It's called Seat 51. I blew it. Seat 31. It's about, it's also an Oscar-nominated short produced by The New Yorker, and it contains the floor speech by Zoe Zephyr, capital Zephyr, who is a representative in Montana. It's about 10 minutes long, but it contains her speech. And the State House of Representatives in Montana censured her for, they say, trying to shame the august body. And so she had to leave the floor of the Montana State House of Representatives and take up her seat on a bench out in the hallway. You know, anything they can do to make life hard for transgender people, hateful Republicans. Okay, the GOP referred to oh God. Okay, my notes. Damn. Okay. The censure statement in the Montana House of Representatives referred to his, quote, threatening and deeply concerning comments on the House floor. And I'm going to read you okay, the reason I thought I put it in capital letters, the HIS, I thought it was an acronym for something, but the hateful, mean, and cruel Republicans have been directed to misgender even elected representatives every time possible. So that's why they refer to Zoe Zephyr as his. She's a she. She's a transgender woman. And but they won't admit that there is such a thing as transgender people. Okay. Go to this site. Okay, the pound symbol, MTTPS://T.co/F, capital D, small GGB, capital L, capital K, small s, capital J, capital S. Whew. If you're trying to follow all that, I hope you do, because it leads you to seat 31. Okay. Supreme Court news. Today, Monday, 3/31. That was actually yesterday. Today's Tuesday. The Trans Day of Visibility happens every year. No Republican will ever recognize that day as that. The Supreme Court, they will hear 3 cases, and this is Monday, yesterday. Major cases. 1, should a Catholic charity in Wisconsin receive a tax exemption? 2, case number 2, is a Catholic school, which is a charter school in Oklahoma, is it constitutional for a purely Catholic school to be a charter school, tax supported? Okay. And 3rd case, can parents with religious objections to the curriculum in Maryland schools be able to withdraw their children from classes? Watch this space. I will keep you all updated, probably next week. They're not going to rule on this until later in the summer, I think. But, okay. Good news. I'll repeat. Smoking is down in the U.S. to 11%. Take that, big tobacco, destroyer of lungs, causes of cancer. I hope that the CEOs and other executives of the big tobacco companies come down with some kind of bad disease caused by their smoking. Okay. Bad news, and this is a MAGA head quote. And who? Okay. Quote, "You broke the law. You are not entitled to due process." Victoria Spartz of Indiana's 5th District, who's a Republican, of course, said this. And she's the only Ukrainian-born congressperson. I would have thought she would have been more compassionate to people coming into this country, the immigrants. She voted against the Affordable Care Act, and she is completely anti-socialism. Well, okay, you can be that. You can have your opinions about how bad or good socialism is. It's a discussable political issue, but she goes way over. Okay. Okay, now, ooh, boy. My microphone is falling apart. Okay. Okay. There's one page from last week's show that I've got to make up. Yeah. Excuse me for just a second. I've got to find it. Oh, there it is. Crisis averted. Okay, I've got time. Bad news. Yet another GOP MAGA evangelical church leader arrested for child sex crimes. Okay, after this week's show, I'm just not going to waste my time talking about them again. There's just too many of them. Zachary Radcliffe of Michigan, 29 years old, of Saline, Michigan, music and youth pastor at Oakwood Church in Ypsilanti, Michigan, faces not one but 33 counts of coercing minors between 13 and 17 to have sex with him. And at the CPAC, CPAC, that's a conservative meeting once a year, in 2019, he sang a song that he wrote, quote unquote, called I'll Stand, I''LL, stand. And for the God and Country record label. He studied music at Jerry Falwell's Liberty University. Falwell said when he was there, quote, "I believe this song will become to this generation, what Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA." I had a brain freeze on last week's show about this song being sung at the Kennedy Center for the Arts on a loop over and over again. I couldn't remember Lee Greenwood or God Bless the USA's name at that time. Well, here it is. Okay. God Bless the USA was during the Reagan years. A district court judge on March 5th, which is 2 weeks ago, actually now it's 3 weeks ago, added 21 counts of criminal sexual conduct and child sexual abusive activities, and using a computer to commit a crime. Oh God, these sex-obsessed Christians. Jeez. Okay, on August 7th, 2020, Falwell, the son of Jerry Falwell, himself resigned from the presidency of Liberty University following his own sex scandal. Oh, man. Okay. Okay, the next thing that I have under Jerry Falwell's resignation was that recounting of the Haynes Turner lynching, which I warned you about last week. I read it to you all last week's show, and I hesitate to read it again. It was horrible, and the hate that good Christian Southern white people have for blacks way back then in 1918 is just, I don't know where that kind of hate comes from. Okay. Some of my ignorant MAGA followers keep saying it was Democrats who kept racism and white supremacy and the KKK alive. Well, it wasn't. They don't really know or don't want to know their history. Therefore, real history is trying to be eliminated by the orange sociopathic bloat bag and Captain Eyeliner, his vice president. Okay, real quick. In 1964, Strom Thurmond, the senator from Georgia, became a GOP presidential candidate. And his whole platform were states' rights and revenge for the solid South. Still fighting the Civil War. Political realignment began, real political realignment began in 1930s with Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal, which Republicans all called socialism, communism, Democrat began in FDR's New Deal. Democrats in the South disenfranchised blacks between 1890 and 1910, and then on into today. They're still trying to, with some of these ridiculous requirements for registration and voting. The fewer the votes, the more Republicans win elections. We just can't let that happen. Okay. The GOP started the quote-unquote Lily White movement, and I'm sorry, but I didn't Google this. I will for next week's show. I think it was back around the turn of the century. And especially Republicans hated Eleanor Roosevelt because she was what in today's parlance would be called woke. Okay, here's one more. Oh, a bit of good news. A couple of college guys have started a video on website video called "What's Up With That?" That's what's up. It's two guys, and it's sex ed for guys. Two 20-something guys. They look nice and honest. They don't look like MAGAs, but they're, I guess, progressive in their attitude toward maleness, masculinity, and so on. So go online and look up what's up with that ? And that's what's up. I guess exclamation point. Okay. Sex education for guys. Okay. Crazy Quora question. Okay. Can someone intelligently explain what woke means or what wokeism is? Okay, ? The answer guy. As most people know, they originally meant having an awareness of social injustice and wanting to do something about it. It's all about fighting for the rights and dignity of people who are being oppressed in society. Okay. Book recommendation to end the show about the Miles Turner lynching and the memory of lynching by Julie. Okay, the title of the book, quote, Mary Turner and the Memory of Lynching by Julie Buckner Armstrong, came out in 2011, University of Georgia Press. No Republican is even probably aware of this book. GOPs in Congress voted against anti-lynching bills until December of 2018. Okay, I had one more thing about Dolly Parton and her contributions. Okay, I'll end the show next week with it. I've got to go now. Play out music. You have been listening to The Midnight Skeptic on KPCA LP, Petaluma, California. And we're at 103.3 on the FM dial and worldwide at www.kpca.fm. Support community radio at patreon.com/Petaluma Community Access. And remember, think critically, think logically, but live joyously, and most importantly, pet your cats. Okay, if you've got a few bucks lying around, go to Patreon and go to Petaluma Community Access and shoot them a few bucks. I won't see any of it. I don't care. I'm independently wealthy. All right. Goodbye until next week's next rant.